Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines and to provide some actual value into what a lot of this information is most importantly, what you can do with it, how you can apply it and see a meaningful difference in your business and life, because it is legitimately why I fly that American flag behind me proudly every fucking day, is because I'm living my American dream and I want to help each and every one of you do that as well. Got a lot to talk about today. What a crazy fucking weekend it was. We got some interesting articles to break down and everything else. And but before we get into all of that, as always, you guys, I got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub. They're the ones who keep this neon light on behind me every single day. VHubApp.com. Hit them up. Access to trailers, whether you're a carrier, broker, or shipper alike, we all need them at some point. And VHub has a seamless app where you can go on there and take care of all of that stuff right from VHubApp.com. And with what they're working on right now, you guys, is they got San Diego, California going out to Selma, Texas. Get paid $750 to do that. Now you might be asking yourself, oh, that's it? But that's on top of the freight, that the revenue that you can put when you load out those trailers. All right, so think about that. What a great way to help offset fuel costs and rising maintenance costs and everything else was by getting some additional revenue in there. I mean, frankly, if you're a one-truck operator, you should never have to shut your business down if your trailer's in the shop. And VHub allows you to do that with everything that's available to you. And then they also have rentals on there as well. They out in Utica, New York, they have a 2013 dry van. You can rent it out for $28 a day. Or else they also have a 2006 dry van. You can rent that out for $20 a day. So again, like, this is a way for you, if you're a power only operator and you're looking for a way to, kind of help out or maybe transition in, this is a great way for you to get in there and check out what's available to help grow your business and everything, you guys. And this is just another way to help offset some of those costs that are at your disposal right now as a business owner and everything else. So hit them up, you guys, VHubApp.com. My friends Xavier Campos and Stacy Steen. Well, Stacy won't be in the audience today because it's a Canadian holiday. It's Thanksgiving today up in Canada. But Xavier Campos, he'll be out there for you guys. Hit him up. Let me see. Tyler Burkhofer. What is up, brother? It's been a minute. Blue Transport Group in the house, you guys. If you guys have any flatbed freight out of the Pacific Northwest, hit up my man Tyler. Sean, what's up, my dude? Let's fucking go. You are correct, sir. Happy Monday. Whitney Fowler, what's going on? Good to see you out there. Adam Gillis, blood sucking Monday. Fuck, I can only imagine what's going on in your day already, bud. Let me see here, you guys. We are at day 131 of the Freight Coach Tally. You guys, day 131. And that is us just bringing up a subtle reminder that there is a truck parking issue as well as a facilities issue out there in the industry. Again, I'm not going to stop talking about these issues. I don't do this stuff for clicks or likes or anything like that. You guys, I bring this up because I am committed to seeing meaningful change in this industry. And frankly, at the end of the day, I want to be, I'm going to be a part of the change. I'm not going to continue to subscribe to the old way of doing things. So we got to continue to talk about these issues until there's actual change that is out there. It's going to be interesting to see what the diesel price will go up to. The national average as of last week is still at $4.83 a gallon. And this is, it's going to be interesting to see, you guys, because obviously, if you saw in the news, OPEC is cutting production of up to 2 million barrels a day. And frankly, that's not a good sign at all. Gas prices already up here in Arizona are almost up to over $5 a gallon. Again, there was a slight reprieve there for a little bit, but they're starting to skyrocket back up. But again, I get all this information from the EIA, you guys, EIA.gov, check it out. And, to me, it's what can we do with all this information? What information can we provide to our customers and everything else with this to kind of help us through peak season here on a very mighty peak season. Let me see here. Sam Hunter, good morning. Good to see you, Sam. Andre Johnson, it's money day, not Monday. Amen to that, dude. I love that. Let's see here. Dude, it was a crazy weekend. Did you guys see? I know I saw this on Saturday. PayPal. What the fuck was that about? Holy shit. That, if you guys didn't see it, you guys just Google it. But essentially, they are put out there. They have since backtracked this due to the instant backlash of it all about how they were going to fine their users $2,500 if they were deemed to spread misinformation. Fucking scary times that we're in right now. I haven't used PayPal for my business. I think I did early on and I canceled it a long time ago because, like, frankly, I couldn't afford the fees that they charge for transaction. I use QuickBooks now for everything. And it was wild. It was wild. And I just actually found out that they own Venmo as well. I didn't know that, but I will be canceling my Venmo account because I just don't stand for that at all, you guys. No, like that is, man, I've just been thinking a lot, like I grew up, I'm in my, I guess you could call it my mid 30s. I'm only 36, but man, it's just been fucking wild over these last couple of years with a lot of this stuff. And, the overreach of government and private companies, everything else. Like, again, the free market will dictate that. As a private, I'll put it this way. PayPal had the right to put that out there because it's a private company. They can say it, but now the repercussions are of what it is. You can't say, oh, we fucked up. Like, not in today's day and age. I'm just at the end of the day, you guys, I'm all about freedom. I'm all about what our country has been built off of, and everything else. And fuck you or anybody who thinks that they can find somebody for what they say. I don't condone hate speech or any of that bullshit. I choose not to pay attention to it. All right. And I'm going to choose to put my money somewhere else. And those are the repercussions of what it is. And that is what the beauty is of a free market is. PayPal will be faced with some very serious fucking backlash for this. And at the end of the day, though, I'm not going to sit here and dance on anybody's graves because I don't believe in that. But I also want you to understand, from my perspective and my position, I think that you got to be very careful about what position you want to take if you're a business owner. I am taking the position of my core fundamental beliefs in freedom in the United States of America and everything that we stand for here. Because when I was growing up, it was celebrated to be an American. Like, this is America, goddammit. Like, this is the greatest nation on fucking earth. And we got to get back to those core values of what this country was founded on. And frankly, at the end of the day, you guys, if you guys, I'm not telling anybody to change their belief systems, but that's who I am as a person. That's what I'll always stand for. That's the future that I'm trying to protect for my children and my grandchildren and everything else, because we got to do everything to protect this nation for what it is and get rid of the fucking scum that are out here trying to ruin it. We can all do better. This is a land of equality for everybody. Again, I believe in freedom over everything. And I'm not going to let my own personal views sway for the greater good of a nation. I don't have to agree with everything that everybody does. I just don't want them to lose that right to decide what they want, what's best for them, and everything else. And I just think that, again, if you're going to say stupid things like that, it's just wild to me because, again, I think that the First Amendment and freedom of speech is the greatest thing on earth. And I don't want anybody to lose their right to say whatever the fuck that they want. I just also think that we need to get back to the days of when I was a kid, is if you said some stupid shit, you got punched in the fucking face. At least that's the way that I grew up in northern Wisconsin. If you said stupid shit, you got punched in the face for it. And I think that, we need to get back though, and not advocate for violence and everything else. We need to advocate for a greater good of this country as a whole. And the free market will take care of the stupidity. And I choose to invest my money into America First companies, pro-America companies, and people who stand for what this country has been built off of, which I think is, the majority of the trucking industry as a whole. It's why I like it. It's as blue collar as it gets. This industry is the backbone of this country. And without us, there isn't a country, I just, my personal opinions are what they are. I mean, I don't hide behind anything. I am who I am. If you don't like what I have to say, that's fine. That's fine. I don't wish any ill will upon anybody, but I just believe in what America stands for and what America was built off of. And I won't change for anything. at all in that regard. This is the greatest nation on earth, you know? Like, again, this is fucking America. God damn it. We're the greatest nation on earth, and we need to get back to those. You know, it's just like we should have zero foreign dependence on fucking anything. I'll call that that is my stance on that. We should have zero foreign dependence on anything. We shouldn't be talking to anybody else about oil production or fucking energy production or production of any sorts. It should all be fucking done here. All right. We should have zero dependence on anything. We should obviously trade with the globe because if it makes sense, but not because we have to, because it makes sense. That's all I'm going to say on that, but fuck PayPal. Like, yeah, that's my stance on that. Also, I got to give a shout out to my friends over at The Roots Logistics. Every year on October, my man Joe D'Angelo, who's on my podcast and everything, on October 4th, you guys, this is obviously a couple days late, but they put a post out there on 10-4 day and everything else. You know, they use it to salute truckers and, you know, give the Roots the Roots Logistics a follow. You guys, they're trying to grow up their personal brand, their brand and everything else. They put a post out there. So just go on to LinkedIn and look up the Roots Logistics and see what they put out there for 10-4 day. And yeah, do that. Give Joe D'Angelo a follow as well. Yeah, Tyler, I'm right there with you, man. I didn't own any stock, thankfully, but it's definitely changed my opinion on things. And then, yes, Sonny, stupid fucking PayPal. That is correct, sir. All right, let's get into some articles here. This one was from the JOC. U.S. for-hire trucking employment takes a plunge. It fell by 21,000 real jobs in September, according to non-seasonally adjusted data released Friday by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. That comes after jobs rose by nearly 78,000 over 5 months to an all-time high of 1.61 million workers in August. The unadjusted jobs loss was much larger than expected, leading to seasonally adjusted loss of 11,400 jobs for September. It was the first decline in trucking employment since March and may indicate motor carriers are already adjusting their capacity and payrolls as spot truckload and contract rates continue to tumble. Even so, trucking employment remains 3.6% higher than in September of 2021 and 3.3% higher than the same month in pre-pandemic of 2019. While the BLS data point is preliminary, assuming it stands, this point to the industry-wide capacity moving far more quickly to adjust to the changing rate environment than we saw in 2019 when demand dropped, yet carriers still added to payrolls, said Jason Miller. He's a professor over at Michigan State. Spot truckload rates paid to drivers, excluding any fuel, fell to $1.83 a mile in September from $2.70 a mile in January, and a 32% drop. And that is according to DAT Freight and Analytics. In comparison, DAT truckload rates, also excluding fuel, has dropped 8.4% to $2.40 a mile after peaking at $2.62 a mile in March. Other measures of trucking costs paid by shippers a truckload and less than truckload producer price indexes have dropped past the recent peaks as well. Rates offered to truckload carriers and new contracts have fallen 8 to 15% year over year, according to Dean Croakey. Dean's the man. I love that guy. His principal analyst at DOT. A lot of shippers are obviously using the softer market to optimize their key lanes. That may explain the sudden drop in trucking employment, which exceeds any monthly decline reported for September. The previous record was in 2019. In 2019, low diesel prices allowed excess capacity to remain around longer than it did, possibly leading to longer downturns in the market cycle, said Miller. If we start to see capacity exit much faster this time around, we could see spot rates hit bottom sooner, especially if we don't see a substantial decline in freight volumes. And the drop in employment doesn't match up with the decrease in freight demand, though many anticipate one. Manufacturing output, while slowing, was still up 3.2%. At the same point in 2019, a year which saw an actual freight recession, the output was down 3%. And we most assuredly have more trucking freight today than we did last year at this time. I think, again, it is kind of to what we talk about a lot on this show, you guys. Like, we are back into a normal freight cycle. I'll beat this drum every single day if I have to, you guys, because I think this information is very imperative to the sustainability of your operation. You don't make your money off of one truckload in a normal freight market, you guys. You guys are going to make your money in volume right now, and a healthy margin percentage is going to be about 10 to 12%. That might be shooting high too, depending on how capacity softens up. In regards to contracts starting to, again, we're in bid season right now. And again, like this was kind of my thing earlier in this year is contracted rates are based off of a percentage of what you pay in the spot market. You got to go a little bit lower than that because your goal is to keep that off of the spot market as a whole. And what you're going to start seeing now, and again, I don't know if this is going to happen in 2023. I'm not going to sit up here and point to a specific date and time, but essentially when you're going through a rebid season right now, you're going to have to adjust your prices. You're not going to be able to keep your contracts at that high. They're going to have to come down if you want to see any volume of freight at all. And essentially what that does is that's going to start a rebalance. And then eventually, this might happen in 2023. It might not, depending on if shippers are out there doing rebids, which I personally think that quarterly bids will be a thing sooner than most people want. So definitely keep your pencils sharp out there. But what is essentially going to happen is it's going to get to a point where your contracts and your spot market freight are kind of one and the same. And then what people will do is they'll throw stuff out to spot. Tender rejections will start to rise, and that will signal the rebirth of the spot market freight. And then you'll start to see that where the spot market will start to increase, the prices will start to increase, and then people will obviously make their money out on the spot market. All right. That's essentially what's going to happen is contracts are going to get rebid, spot market rates are going to start to creep up, and then it'll reach that inflection point where people are going to see which one they can make more money on. And then eventually it's going to get to the point where the spot market starts to rebound, and then it'll peak out, and then contracts will get rebid at a higher rate, and then spot markets will start to drop again, and then contracts will hold higher. That's just how a normal freight cycle generally happens every 18 months, you guys. Maybe less, maybe a little bit more. I don't have my magic crystal ball, but with the way that rating tools are and everything else right now, it's very challenging to predict how long rates are going to hold on for. But that's, in my experience, how a normal freight market is going to operate. I don't know if that's going to happen in 2023. I don't know what it's going to look like in 2023, but I do know one thing is for certain is you guys got to remember, you got to execute in any freight market, no matter what, because somebody's going to be moving this freight. Somebody's going to. Is it going to be you or your competition? Somebody's going to be making money in this next market downturn. Is it going to be you or your competition? Me personally, I'm cool. I've been through this. You guys, I've been through this numerous times. I know how to operate in this freight market. I know that I will make my money in time and that I need to focus on service over everything. And I would highly, highly, highly recommend all of you focus on service right now. All right. Just because that truck is maybe a little bit cheaper out there on the spot market doesn't mean it's the best truck for your customers' freight. And I want you guys to take that to heart because, there are some fucking sharks that are swimming right now who haven't been in the door, haven't been able to get in the door at all of your books of business. Every single one of you guys in the comments right now. Every single one of you. There are people out there who are trying to steal your market share right now from you. So don't risk it by putting the cheapest truck out there to put an extra $50 in your pocket right now, because that essentially will cost you your business in the long term. All right. You got to think of it in a 12-month cycle. All right. I'm not concerned about getting rich today. I'm concerned about making money every fucking day so I can stay in business. All right. And that's how you kind of got to sharpen your pencil here a little bit, you guys. I hope this information helps. I hope this is going to, you guys can take this back to your customers and see some differences out there. But again, you guys check it out, joc.com. It's my most trusted news source in the industry. I truly, really love those guys over there a lot. And Bill Cassidy wrote that one. It's U.S. for hire trucking employment takes a plunge. Let me see here. Now, this article was from FreightWaves. And this is the less than truckload rates continue to increase amid transportation downturn. The freight market has been in a tailspin since the spring, but the LTL the less than truckload carriers are still increasing rates. Dry van truckload contract rates have fallen 7% since June. And then the same database shows a 2% increase in LTL prices over the same time. And why do LTL carriers appear to be more insulated? My honest assessment of this, you guys, is there are fewer LTL carriers than there are in the open market, right? In the full truckload space. This is why having 4 to 5 providers only isn't a good thing. All right. Because this essentially they fucking set the rates and they will tell you this is what we're going to pay. And that's what all of their competition's at, essentially. So there's no reprieve from it. I mean, again, like that's why I love a free market. That's why I love multiple providers out there, because it keeps the checks and balances in system in place and it stops price. I'm not saying that's what LTL carriers are doing, but with fewer LTL carriers and fewer competition, it's a lot easier to set your rates and hold firm at that and say, what are you going to do? Go find somebody else? So again, that's not a representation of what LTL market is about, but that's kind of what happens when there's only 2 providers out there. Let me see. LTL represents half of the revenue of the truckload sector. The total volume handled is 4 to 6 times less. Truckload is like buying in bulk and has fewer touch points according to compared to LTL. While the spot market tends to have a strong visible influence on truckload current prices, LTL's version is much smaller and less transparent. So it does not weigh heavily on long-term agreements. That said, truckload spot rates can be effective predictor of LTL rate changes over time. Okay, that's a very broad statement. I think personally, though, I mean, essentially it's like this. I mean, if you're looking at their rates and holding firm, again, if you're looking at a price per pallet, again, I didn't see that inside of this article. So when it comes down to rates, like, I mean, is it, if an LTL provider is charging $100 to move a pallet, is that really a bad thing? I don't know. I think from a cost perspective, it will always be the most efficient way to move standard small size pallets across the country. You won't find a better model than this. And I would say that most business owners out there in the CPG space, anybody who utilizes LTL will probably agree. Why would I spend $100 on, why wouldn't I spend $100 on one pallet, then $400 to move it the same distance in a full truckload? Again, it's all about the pricing thing. I just think that the LTL market is not as volatile because of the fact that there's only a few providers. And it's kind of if 5 trucking companies sit in a room and say, hey, this is all we'll move our stuff for if you do as well, and everybody agrees, they all make money. That doesn't necessarily happen on an open market like it does when there's that much competition in the full truckload space and everything. Again, hit that article up, you guys. It's from freightwaves.com. Less than truckload rates continue to increase amid transportation downturn. And again, you guys, with every single article that I break down, I put all the links up there in the show notes on the Freight Coach YouTube channel, and also the Coffee with the Freight Coach audio only version of it. And again, you guys, do your own research on it. Please, 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 for the love of God, do your own research on it. I don't know everything. I'm just putting my opinion on there based off of the 3 truckloads that I've moved in my career. That is me being completely fucking sarcastic if you haven't pieced that one together yet. But to me, it is just what, again, do as much research as possible, you guys, because your customers will benefit from this. Let me see here. Third article, ttnews.com. Tesla plans to deliver semis to Pepsi 5 years after unveiling. I am a traditional diesel fan at heart. I don't hide that. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how this rolls out. I was just talking about this last week on the show, and it's again, all right, let's just get into the article. I'm not going to put my personal shit out there right now on this. Let's just talk the article. Tesla will deliver its, 5 years after Elon Musk. The car maker will hand over the semis to PepsiCo on December 1st. And the food and beverage giant has said it reserved 100 of the trucks and expects to deploy an initial 15 by the end of the year. Musk said when Tesla first unveiled the semi in November of 2017 that it would go into production 2 years later. While would be customers, including Walmart and Anheuser-Busch, put down deposits, the automaker ended up prioritizing output of Model 3 sedan. PepsiCo confirmed, blah, blah, blah. In January, Musk told we're all later this year. And then it also changed tune 3 days after the U.S. Senate passed the Inflation Reduction Act, which made heavy-duty electric trucks eligible for as much as $40,000 in tax credits. So essentially the $180,000 price tag is now $140,000. And that the company would start shipping semis with 500 miles of range this year. Tesla will compete with other, companies that are out there. I mean, it's inevitable. All right. Like, and again, if a company wants to deploy them, cool. That's Pepsi's choice. Doesn't mean that that's going to be the reality of it. It's going to be interesting to see because again, the overall weight of this and then the range of this is not exactly conducive for long haul trucking or even regional freight. I think from another article that I saw on this is Pepsi is going to start testing them out for essentially all their local stuff. So most small towns throughout the United States have that local Pepsi distributor that is out there. Some of them are privately owned. Some of them are owned by the corporate. And that's probably where you're going to start seeing a lot of these first is while they're testing them out and doing all of that stuff. So it'll be interesting to see at the end of the day on how this is going to be perceived, what the functionality of it's going to look like and everything else. Again, I am only here to report on this one. My personal opinion is I fucking love diesel trucks. All right. I personally think that I'm not a fan of everything battery powered. I think like to some extent, cool. I like to see the innovative side of it. I don't know. I just think of like what happened down in Florida or the rolling blackouts in California. I just don't think our power grid is built to support any of this stuff. And heaven forbid there's a natural disaster, which I know you guys, it's hard to believe that sometimes there are natural disasters and it wipes out power for 3 days. If we don't have any trucks to be able to get any of the shit done, kind of fucks a lot of people over. Again, that article, ttnews.com, Tesla plans to deliver semis to Pepsi 5 years after unveiling. Let me see. Yeah, Joe, no problem, man. And he put a link out there to that post, you guys, in the comments as well. And yeah, Tyler, I'm right there with you, man. It's only going to be only viable for short distance in-town delivery. We'll see how that evolves here in time, though. And I wanted to save a couple of minutes at the end here, you guys. This article was also on TT News, and man, this just makes this just kills me. And it's a slain trucking family mourned by the community. It's a senseless killing of 4 members of a family-owned trucking business, one of whom was a baby. Is bringing together residents from all walks of life on a nightly basis in Merced. And, it's just nuts because 27, 36 years old, and 39 years old. It's really fucking sad to see this. And they were taken by gunpoint on October 3rd from the trucking business they operated since 2005, just south of Merced, leading to the search for a family until the tragic conclusion on October 5th. And their bodies were found in a rural area in the county northeast of Dos Palos. And it's just really the entire thing. It showed that they owned Unison Trucking, where the suspect was a former employee of them, and he was a convicted felon who tried and kill himself a day after the kidnap scene, had a long-standing feud with the family. Salgado's younger brother was arrested late October 6th and accused of criminal conspiracy, accessory, and destroying evidence. And there is a GoFundMe out there for this, you guys, and it describes the victims as immigrants who worked tirelessly for 18 years to achieve safety, security, and community for themselves and their families. It's, as a community, as a trucking community, you guys, we got to come together in times like these. And it's just sad all around that people would go to that length. Yeah, I'll put this, I'm going to click on this link right now and see. It's, the GoFundMe is still valid, you guys. And I'll put it out there right now. It is GoFundMe.com, and it is for justice for the Dairy family. And that's D as in David, H as in Henry, E as in Edward, R as in Robert, I as in Isaac, the Dairy family, justice for the Dairy family. And donate if you can. Donate if you can to help this out in this very sad situation as a whole. And we gotta sit there and we gotta protect each other. Because at the end of the day, you guys, it's all us. It's the 99% of this country that are hardworking men and women. It's all us. We got to stick with each other. We got to be there for each other. We got to help each other. So donate if you can. And that's it for today, you guys. Hey, if you saw value in this, share the show. That's all I can ask. At the end of the day, you guys share the show, because if you see value in it, chances are your network's going to see value in it as well. The Freight Coach Morning Show, we're the top morning show in transportation. We'll be back every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central. I appreciate you guys all so much, and we'll be talking to you soon.